were going on just one game ago. How do you feel about the Xayah Galio combo versus the Rakan, or sorry, the Kai'Sa Galio combo versus the Rakan Xayah combo? They're both built around those hard carry AD carries in the bottom line.
Well, I definitely do like a different form of pick that actually does still complement each other pretty well. Yes, traditionally Xayah and Rakan will be the best go-to option, but Kai'Sa can always dive head first instead of just relying on that Rakan. And now, moving into this game, we are seeing a two-man setup over to mid, and Veki is already getting cooked for a slight bit. A very standard start of items from both ends, and oh, with a big grand entrance coming in, putting Mitsura very low.
Now, we'll kick things off here for GEEK Fam versus Amihan. Amihan coming in as the first seed out of the Philippines region, coming in as the expected favorite, I think it's fair to say. GEEK Fam had a rocky season. They were, for a very long time, the best team in the Malaysia region. They're an expected favorite, very popular in the region, especially across other titles, other games as well. And then they lost. They tripped at the finish line, come into this tournament as the second seed with a lot to prove, Contra.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to actually carry that sort of vibe back into this group stage. Now, this is a beautiful dive onto Mitsura.
Very clean.
Very easily done by
And this is what we wanted from GEEK Fam. You know, they haven't been able to live up to their reputation internally in the region. They do that. It's all about this early game aggression that's going to get them a good start like that. And all of GEEK Fam stay roaming with 4 players now on the bottom side of the map, setting up for the early picks around this scuttle. That means we get a fight, a good taunt, a good knock-up, and Rumpel is gone despite it all. The setup for Amihan was focused entirely around a single player in the river. Demon's just able to sweep up and detonate a kill right back over with that Kai'Sa early game damage.
That was a really rough lie on Rumpel for any sort of setup with the Hextech ultimate as well. But how do they actually go through against this heavy frontline opposition of Amihan Esports? Now we have that.
They see the Momo as the focus. Amihan see the full attempt to boost Momo out ahead. And then Momo gets left alone in lane. And it's a full gank, an easy kill. This is a bit of a turret race. First break will go over to Amihan, boosting them significantly ahead. They get the kill and the first turret bonus gold. However, GEEK Fam should be able to find the equal in this opposite lane. If the Orthros can't do something remarkable here. Dive in, taunt will land. Here's the flank in from Jelson. Coming out to the jungle on the Wukong, dropping the Cyclone, and it's a follow-up. Heroic entrance cast to point-blank range. Ozaraveki's caught out, and Ozaraveki's down.
Oh boy, GEEK Fam doesn't seem to have enough damage or attack speed to actually clear off the first tier 1 turret for himself over on the Baron lane. And not only that, it was a 2 versus 3, and now this is Momo just surviving with a tick of HP. Oh boy, countless lucky stars, and now GEEK Fam is still at it to try to secure their very first turret.
Yeah, so overall, that trading we just saw breaks very positively for Amihan. They're able to get the bot lane turret, they deny the take up top, and they find a kill with it, now looking for more. Orthros will again soar out of the jungle on the Galio, looking for that engaged taunt, this time with Mitsura close behind. We're seeing the style of gameplay that GEEK Fam normally benefits so much from, Contra, where they're just able to deny a standard laning phase. What's going wrong?
Well, I guess that they are too heavily focused on this Baron lane, and you can see how well Amihan Esports protect this. And not only that, Amihan Esports have sneakily taken down the very first Drake, and Mountain's going to be adding on to their survivability. You have the Galio as well as the Wukong that can actually soak more in team fights. So that will spell trouble for GEEK Fam much later on. Now, looking at the itemization as well, I guess just like how HungryCast always mentioned, this is the sort of build that you do have for Kai'Sa. Yes, it does look like scrap loot in general, but it will upgrade the Captain Rain.
Yeah, I think that's a fair summation to go back to your first point. The GEEK Fam Or, like, they're getting the game state they want, which is this hyper-aggressive, messy, skirmishing, just rolling fight. But it's not going their way, perhaps because of the tunnel vision up top on that top turret. I would also flag just how well Amihan are responding, as you did. They've got a very good sense of where GEEK Fam's forces are. Currently, GEEK Fam trying to respond to that first Drake take by bringing everyone in to fight this Rift Herald. TheShang on the front lines, zoning, building space for the rest of the team as Garen does. Half HP on this Rift Herald. So around the side, will pop the Dominus and full engage, and it's a big knock-up in the meantime as Jelson starts the fight. Heroic entrance comes in as well for Amihan, and they get the full engage. TheShang's very low, but able to step into the front lines and shut down Jelson. Orthros will fall, but it does not matter. Mitsura comes through. Close behind him is Karlll, and Demon still alive to pick up the kills they need. A triple kill to Mitsura, and Amihan get the Oppo ace.
Wow. Such a beautiful fight for Amihan Esports, and you could clearly tell that Orthros is willing to pull the hero's entrance just at the right time when they just dove into the jungle. And GEEK Fam, they are pretty much separated, and Ozoraveki could not possibly do all too much by the very end. Now it's 8-4. The gold discrepancy is going to be increasing from this point onwards, especially when you've already got the Rift Herald being popped up. Just 18 HP on the mid turret. Anybody could have just landed an auto attack and it will crumble.
Now we get a Globe Rift Herald charge. And everything you want. As Amihan have a pretty devastating early game lead at this point. And we talked about how GEEK Fam had done a decent job kind of achieving the chaos that they want. If you're new to Wildrift, if you're watching Wildrift for the first time, it's not always this bad. It's not always this chaotic. But this is GEEK Fam. They thrive in the chaos, except for this time, because Amihan have matched their rotates across the map, matched their chaotic playstyle, and been able to keep pace.
Exactly just that, right? He just read them like a book, and no matter how hard they try to actually force some of all these small little skirmish or team fights, GEEK Fam is actually taking the short end of the stick. Now that you have a couple of all these core items up available, this Akali is going to hurt for a tad bit. Flash being popped here by Ozoraveki. Destiny moving in towards the mid side, but they won't be able to actually get anything out of this, though.
Yeah, talk me through that. What was that for?
I guess it's just an escape.
Mitsura.
I don't think this is any good of a situation. And oh, here comes Amihan.
Yeah, Mitsura just walks up, takes the turret. They get a free kill. TheShang is in trouble. 1v3. He'll go down as well. And that was the strangest play I've ever seen on the map around a Destiny. GEEK Fam bring all their forces into the middle of the map where they're surrounded.
Oh boy, it goes from bad to worse. I honestly couldn't really put words to what I've just witnessed, but Rumpel now is going to be in trouble. I guess that's the good way to put it. And I guess
those are the words.
There might just be even harsher words that we could actually throw out, but Becky here might just be able to secure that kill, but Mitsura just got 1 HP literally to walk out of that.
And that's maybe the second time this game that an Amihan Esports player has walked away from Ozoraveki on a sliver of HP. Got to be a little bit frustrating for the GEEK Fam captain in the mid lane. Amihan, in the meantime, do get their second Drake of the game, an Infernal Drake, as they continue to march forwards. Now a 10,000 gold lead, 3 turrets to none, and an overall solid control of the match.
I still really want to pick their brains for a little bit on what they are trying to achieve, and here comes Hero's entrance, and Mitsura will still be able to survive out of that.
It saves him!
Again and again.
I don't believe it. Mitsura gets away. What a play. This is time and time again a huge saving grace of this team as Orthros on the Galleon. Couple of a duel between the two ball laners here. Karlll just sweeping through, does get caught inside the Hextech ultimatum, but it is not enough to turn the button. Here's the Baron start in the meantime. Demon thriving in the midst of this. Nyx chunked down by a Void Seeker will fall. It's a good blade caller. It slows down Jelson, but it doesn't save Momo, who will fall to the Acathian reign of Demon on a rampage currently. a couple of games in a row that the Amihan AD carry has absolutely dominated. Spending this game 4 kills, no deaths, 7 assists. A very solid performance on a Fed Kaiser.
Amihan Esports definitely know their win conditions. They are absolutely bullying GEEK Fam out of this one. And GEEK Fam is not even thinking about getting anywhere close to this Baron Pit as much as they do have 4 of their members online. But we'll look to first secure more of these items. Static Shift already available, but they are working towards that Infinity Edge. So I believe that there's only one way that GEEK Fam could potentially pull this out if we first watch how Burm United has done it. They try to look for some split push,
oh, no.
but okay. Let's see how long he lasts.
Ozoraveki. Yeah, I mean, maybe wins the 1v1. Now it's a little messier, though. Good call. I mean, I respected the choice to make sure our viewers didn't have to watch that. As the entire team sweeps down, Karlll gets a double kill. Absolutely destroying the fight. This is a terrifying Akali at this point.
And what's more terrifying is the Renathan coming right in.
Yep, Amihan not wasting around. Look to make as much of a dent in this game as possible, Contra.
Yeah, now having absolute map control, Amihan Esports still has the Baron power play as well. So this will still take quite a while for GEEK Fam to juggle with the pressure of the waves from all ends. A 1-2-2 split going on, and of course the Gallo can just hop right in if there's going to be any potential trouble. Mitsura happily moves right in, while Jelson will be knocked up in the air, but this will not call for any sort of team fight as the bottom inhibitor will be opened up, and I expect the mid to be getting exactly the same for Amihan.
Yep, the Oppo Baron power play will claim its second inhibitor turret. I'm going to go for all 3. Amihan not content till they've eradicated every single turret. And this means you get a fight, a deep dive from Nyx. Is he eaten alive? He's gone! And there's the follow-through behind the turret. Mitsura's tanking Nexus turret shots and will finally die as a result. But there are no turrets left on the map for GEEK Fam. Amihan are looking to close this game out in style. Ozoraveki is able to find a decent amount of poke damage from outside the Nexus, though. That will force a reset. That will force some recalls. Maybe a little bit more time for GEEK Fam to think about what went wrong.
Well, I guess they will go into very deep thoughts about that right after this. I don't really see how they could actually come back from nearly a 20,000 gold deficit. And here comes the Cloud Drake to make matters worse.
I've got a question. Do you think Amihan do the Cloud Drake, or do they just end the game?
Honestly, they could do both. You know, like
you think they're doing Cloud Drake and ending the game simultaneously?
Yeah, if you can actually put a little bit more pressure on the map, but I believe it should be an easy Drake, since that the waves are
they're doing it
out there, and they don't even need anybody else here to help Jelson overall. Just look at the items, and he didn't even bother about getting a Guardian's Angel. That's where, like, you know, GEEK Fam didn't seem like they were a threat overall.
You know, I understand why you want to not leave any opportunities for anything to go wrong. Dot your I's, cross your T's, get all the Drakes. But I'm going to be real, Contra. The choice to get that Drake. Oh, as a Hextech ultimatum finds the kill onto Karlll here. It's hurting their speedrun time. Amihan losing the world record here.
Yeah, they could actually set a world record, and top of that, the fastest way to actually achieve a win with a 20-over goal lead. Now that's going to be extending to even more eventually. Actually, with this in mind, Amihan Esports looks to just do things one step at a time, and they're looking for the second Baron power play right here.
Yep, this will be the second attempt at the Baron. Amihan stepping forward, breaking away from the Baron to take the fight, and they've got an easy kill onto Nyx. Yet again, the frontline for Karlll just melting. Rumpel. Oh, that was a good Hextech ultimatum. It was spent on to Mitsura to try and stop the Renekton, but it doesn't turn the fight. Momo's the last player alive as a triple kill goes over to Demon, and that will indeed be it. GEEK Fam wiped off the face of the map in 15 minutes as Amihan take a statement game, 3 wins in a row in their